Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
And today's show runs Monday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is, among other things, National Cheese Doodle Day. No, really, look it up. It's also, of course, March 5th, 2018. And now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, an investigation into the death of a Colorado man over what authorities believe was an attempt to gain control of a family ranch has resulted in the arrest of a man's 68-year-old mother. Deborah Sue Rudabaugh of Parlin was taken into custody Friday, a day after the arrest of 33-year-old Stephanie Jackson. Investigators have accused Jackson of killing her 29-year-old brother, Jacob Henry Milson, in an attempt to gain control of the family's 700-acre ranch. The Grand Junction Daily Sentinel reports that Rudabaugh was being held without bond on several charges, including one count of first-degree murder after deliberation. It couldn't be immediately determined if she had an attorney. Jackson faces a first-degree murder charge and as well as other charges. She was being held on a $500,000 bond.
Reported in the Durango Herald with a file photo, a 9-year-old was accidentally shot and killed by his juvenile sibling Friday afternoon in Arboles, according to multiple reports. Calls to the Archuleta County Sheriff's Office as well as the Colorado Bureau of Investigation were not returned on Sunday. Archuleta County Sheriff Rich Valdez told the Pagosa Springs Sun that the sheriff's office received a report of a shooting in the Arboles area, a dispersed community 40 miles southeast of Durango by Navajo Lake State Park, shortly after 3 p.m. on Friday. The victim, a 9-year-old boy, was found dead at the scene. His body was secured and transferred for investigation to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation office in Grand Junction, the Pagosa Sun reported. Valdez told the Pagosa Sun 3 juveniles, ages 7, 9, and 10, were being supervised by an older sibling. The older sibling told the children to go outside and play. The children went outside and instead of playing on their property, went to a nearby, quote, summer home that was unoccupied. The children forced entry into the home and broke into a locked cabinet that had 2 firearms, one of which was loaded, the Pagosa Sun reported. The loaded gun went off, striking and killing the 9-year-old. It's unclear how the firearm was triggered. The other 2 children went back to their home and alerted the older sibling, who called 911. The injured child was dead by the time authorities arrived, Valdez said. No arrests have been made, and the names of the people involved had not been released yet. The Pagosa Sun reported the family lives in Arboles, and the deceased juvenile had attended school in Pagosa Springs. Archuleta School District Superintendent Linda Reed told the newspaper the school district will have additional counseling support available for children and staff at all schools Monday in light of the tragedy. Support will also come from the San Juan BOCES and other districts.
According to the Cortez Journal, when former Representative Steve Lebsuk of Thornton decided to change his party affiliation Friday afternoon, it may have changed a lot more for him than that. According to several sources, it may have disqualified him for the state treasurer's race that he so vigorously tried to hold onto during Friday's expulsion debate. Lebsuk, according to Secretary of State spokesperson Lynn Bartels, filed a party switch at 3:17 p.m., less than an hour before the final vote came to expel him from the House. Former State Senator Mike Feely, an attorney and expert in election law, told Colorado Politics that Lebsuk can't run for treasurer as a Republican. He pointed out that state law CRS 14601-4A that says no person is eligible for designation by Assembly as a candidate for nomination at any primary election unless the person was affiliated with the political party holding the Assembly as shown in the statewide voter registration system no later than the first business day of the January immediately preceding the primary election unless otherwise provided by party rules. That date came and went on January 2nd, according to the Secretary of State election calendar. Daniel Cole of the Colorado Republican Party verified that Lebsuk can't run as a Republican because of that statute. Lebsuk was expelled from the Colorado House on Friday on a 52-9 vote, with all 36 remaining Democrats voting to expel along with 15 Republicans. It followed a 7-hour emotional debate that included letters from alleged victims and statements from lawmakers who have also experienced sexual harassment. It also drew admissions from two Democratic lawmakers that they had been wearing bulletproof vests over concerns for their safety, including a threat to take you down. From Leipzig to Representative Matt Gray of Broomfield.
Reported in the Durango Herald by the Grand Junction Sentinel photo credit Brew Books on Flickr. When Colorado River District officials caught wind of investment companies recently buying western Colorado ranches with ample senior water rights, including one north of Fruita, it got their attention. The district, which includes Mesa County and 14 other counties and focuses on the protection, conservation, use and development of Colorado River water in western Colorado, long has been concerned about protecting the region's agricultural sector. Now, district staff are worried about a potential new threat to it from investment companies buying water rights possibly as a speculative investment and looking to profit later in deals that could lead to some local agricultural land no longer being irrigated and reverting to desert. For the River District, the concern is keeping the western slope from eventually seeing the kind of widespread drying up of agricultural lands and withering of local farming and ranching economies that has occurred in areas of eastern Colorado over the decades as municipalities have bought up water rights. District General Counsel Peter Fleming addressed some of the acquisitions and their potentially speculative nature in a January memo to the board of the River District. For example, a New York hedge fund called Water Asset Management, through one of its many subsidiaries, acquired a 330-acre farm within the Grand Valley Project in mid-September 2017. While not a huge farm, that size is among the larger sized parcels within the Grand Valley Project, Fleming wrote in his memo referring to the local Bureau of Reclamation irrigation project. He told the board the farm's associated historical consumption depends on numerous factors, but could be about 840 acre-feet a year. An acre-foot is about 326,000 gallons. That New York City company paid $3.83 million to Gary and Christy Flynn to acquire the farm located along the main access road to popular mountain bike trails on nearby federal lands. In his memo, Fleming also cited a purchase by Boulder-based real estate investment and management company Conscience Bay Company of Western Colorado, including the 1,450-acre Harts Basin Ranch near Cedar Edge in Delta County. To our knowledge, the properties continue to be operated as they have historically, and there are no current plans to change the associated water rights or move the water off the land, Fleming wrote. However, it is clear that increasing water demands, reduced supply, and the potential risk of compact curtailment have put a more direct focus on West Slope irrigated agriculture. Stated another way, reality has caught up with our historical paranoia about the acquisition and potential dry-up of West Slope agricultural rights for speculative purposes. By compact curtailment, Fleming was referring to the ever-looming possibility of Colorado someday having to curtail its water use in order to keep meeting obligations to states in the lower Colorado River Basin under 1922 Interstate Compact. While speculation in land and water rights is nothing new, the recent acquisitions appear to be keyed in on acquisition of pre-compact water rights to hold for the present time but sell to the highest bidder during compact curtailment administration, Fleming wrote. Fleming said in an interview that in Colorado, senior primarily agricultural water rights would have priority in the case of curtailment. That makes those water rights attractive to water users with junior rights, such as Front Range municipalities, which might be able to continue diversions under junior rights under a compact curtailment while sending water associated with a senior right downstream to make up for it. Frankly, we would like to study their financial models and their methods of operation to verify that the goal is really the long-term preservation of our agricultural communities, he said. He said the district is hoping to understand what makes the properties being acquired appear to be good investments from a water standpoint. He said a concern is that investors who are not agricultural producers themselves may drive an economic model that would require a higher or faster return than a very limited fallowing program that may exist.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, Navajo Nation President Russell Begay says he'll approve funding to shore up the tribe's Head Start program after a federal judge denied a request to block a funding cut from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Tribal lawmakers passed a bill last month to divert $6.3 million from the tribe's rainy day fund to the troubled Head Start program. Begay said Friday he'll sign off on the bill. The Navajo Nation operates one of the largest tribal Head Start programs in the country, but has struggled to maintain it. The federal government has revoked funding over wide-ranging threats to children's safety at the centers and later restored it, threatened cuts, and reduced money as enrollment figures decreased. Lawmakers responded to the latest need for funding, Tribal Council Speaker Lorenzo Bates said, but cannot continue Band-Aid solutions for an executive branch program. He said the tribe must show progress with enrollment numbers. As competitive as those dollars are today, there's going to be other parties looking to get those dollars that would otherwise have come to the Navajo Nation, Bates said. The tribe has received about $23 million annually in recent years to serve 2,105 students, but the Health and Human Services Department cut the grant funding to under $16 million for the fiscal year that started Thursday because of chronic under-enrollment. The approved funding covers 1,433 children. The tribe sued, alleging it was denied an opportunity to appeal the cut. It sought to preserve the larger amount it previously received by asking a judge to block the funding cut. U.S. District Court Judge Dabney Friedrich in Washington, D.C., ruled against the tribe Wednesday, saying it hasn't proved it would suffer irreparable harm. The rest of the case is proceeding. And now let's take a look at the weather.
We missed any substantial moisture over this weekend, and I'm sure glad the winds are no longer a dominant factor in our weather pattern. As you can see on the national weather map, a high pressure system dominates the western and southwestern U.S., while snow and rain reminds the northwestern part of the country that we are still in winter. Split almost down the center of the U.S., the low pressure ridges are bringing rain from South Texas up into the Midwest, with more potential flooding in some areas which have already been well saturated in the past weeks. The eastern seaboard catches a brief break in their weather pattern, which brought such devastating blowing snows and rains at the end of last week. Regionally, there's not much going on as the weekend system moves east. There's a hazardous weather outlook warning that scattered snow showers will occur near the Continental Divide along the north of Interstate 70 through early this evening. But no significant snowfall accumulations are expected, and dry and much cooler conditions will be found elsewhere. Dry weather is expected for much of the week. The next chance for rain and snow showers is expected to arrive again this weekend. It's almost like someone up there knows most people have to have a work week. The National Weather Service wants everyone to be a part of a weather-ready nation. With the return of wildfire and flood seasons in Colorado, they want to make sure you are weather-ready. Now is the time to get the facts on how to stay safe in a fire or flood when dangers are increasing. It's Flood Safety and Wildfire Awareness Week, March 4th through the 10th, with the National Weather Service offering a series of public information segments throughout the week. The local DCTV 5-day outlook today: sunny with a high near 37, north-northeast winds around 10 miles an hour becoming northwest in the afternoon. Tonight is clear with a low down to 16, north-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Tuesday sunny with a high near 44 degrees, north winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tuesday night mostly clear with a low around 21, north-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour becoming east after midnight. Wednesday we start a warming trend, much appreciated, as it will be sunny with a high near 51 degrees, east winds around 5 miles an hour becoming west in the afternoon, and then Wednesday night partly cloudy with a low around 26. Thursday mostly sunny with a high near 57. Thursday night partly cloudy with a low around 32. Friday partly sunny with a high near 57. Friday night mostly cloudy with a low around 30, and Saturday through the regional forecast, though they are anticipating some type of chance for snow or rain, right now we're looking at mostly sunny skies during the day with a high near 50. Saturday night partly cloudy with a low around 25. And now back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the annually doomed bill to repeal Columbus Day as a state holiday in Colorado has a twist this year. It would create a commission to forge mutual understanding about heritage between Coloradans of Italian and American Indian descent. The same approach was used to settle disputes over American Indian sports mascots at schools in Colorado in 2015. House Bill 1231 still passed the House Local Government Committee by only 7-6 vote, and the outcome wasn't along party lines. Representative Steve Lebsuck, a Democrat of Thornton, proposed the latter addition to the bill. He said he didn't want to deprive Italians or anyone else of the opportunity to celebrate their heritage. He initially proposed celebrating Italian Heritage Day instead of the day to celebrate Italian explorer Christopher Columbus. How can I vote yes on this bill and not feel like I'm taking away someone else's heritage and culture, he said. I don't see why people would be adverse to calling it Italian Heritage Day. Representative Jim Wilson, Republican of Salida, proposed in the hearing that both sides get together to bring a solution to the legislature. Colorado's Columbus Day parade has been in dispute, sometimes violent, for more than 2 decades. American Indians see him as a villain who brought conquest, savagery, and illness to their ancestors. Italians see him as a hero, a great explorer credited with discovering America. Colorado was the first to make Columbus Day a state holiday in 1907, long before it became a national holiday in 1937. Tony Polisi, one of the organizers of the parade, said the Columbus Day is a time he celebrates with his family, building floats and enjoying big dinners together around the holiday. Shauna Oliver of Denver described herself to the committee as a survivor and descendant of the genocide known as the Long Walk of the Navajo. "We should not be celebrating people who was not honorable," she said. "There are plenty of other holidays the Italians could celebrate."
Reported by the Durango Herald, Photos AP file, an acclaimed Navajo filmmaker was arrested Saturday on charges of sexual assault while in Durango for this year's Durango Independent Film Festival, according to the Durango Police Department. Durango Police Detective Josh Newman confirmed Sunday that Cody Dayish, a 29-year-old filmmaker from Shiprock, New Mexico, was in custody on suspicion of sexual assault in connection with an incident that occurred on Friday. Newman declined to comment further on the matter because it is an ongoing investigation. Dayish is being held on a $250,000 bond, according to a La Plata County Sheriff's Office booking report. Dayish was in Durango to show his 15-minute film, Spared, which, according to the movie's description, tells the tale of two Navajo families that face the struggle of bullying, suicide, and domestic violence while working with one another. Joni Leonard, executive director of the Durango Independent Film Festival, said Dayish's film had already played its 2 scheduled showing times by the time the event organizers were made aware of the allegations. The film played at 7:30 p.m. Thursday at the Gaslight Theater and 11:30 a.m. Saturday at the Animas City Theater. However, both Dayish and his brother, Colin, had their passes revoked once Leonard and other festival staff members learned of the incident. Leonard said she did not have any information on the incident other than that she heard the allegations were made. Dayish, a 2006 Shiprock High School graduate who attended San Juan College in Farmington, has produced a number of award-winning short films and features over the past few years. In 2010, he formed Cody Dayish Productions to spearhead his effort with the help of his brother Colin and sister Colette. At the Red Nation Film Festival in Los Angeles in 2016, Dayish was named Best Emerging First-Time Director. Dayish is also reportedly working on a film about Navajo code talkers in World War II from the Navajo people's point of view. He had planned to shoot the film in 2018, according to the Associated Press. Calls and emails to Cody Dayish Productions were not returned Sunday. Leonard said Dayish was one of 99 filmmakers in town this weekend for the event, which is in its 13th year.
According to the Cortez Journal, a representative from an alternative energy nonprofit wants to bring electric vehicles to Cortez. Lori Dixon, executive director of the Four Corners Office for Resource Efficiency, gave a presentation on some of the latest developments in electric car technology and how she believes they would fit in southwest Colorado. She particularly focused on Colorado's state grant programs for electric cars and charging stations, saying the city would have to have her organization support if it applied for one of the grants. Some council members were skeptical of the idea, but they said they would consider it further. 4Corps is a Durango-based organization that provides data and grant assistance to businesses and governments throughout the southwest Colorado, with the goal of increasing energy efficiency. In the past, the group has helped sign up for state-funded solar power, assessed the carbon footprint of homes and vehicle fleets, and worked to provide incentives for people to buy alternative transportation options. The group is focusing much of its efforts on electric vehicles, Dixon said. They are the direction of transportation, she said. In 2017, her organization coordinated a group buy program that offered rebates to Durango area residents who purchased Nissan Leaf electric cars. Federal tax credits are also available for electric car owners, Dixon said. More than 50 people bought Nissan Leafs through that program, Dixon said, well over the original goal of 30. The problem with electric vehicles, Dixon added, is that they need charging stations to keep running, and they can be hard to come by in rural areas like Montezuma County. Durango had a few charging stations, and 4Corps recently helped coordinate the installation of 3 others through the state-funded Charge Ahead Colorado grant program, which funds up to 80% of the cost of a new charging station. Right now, there are no electric charging stations in Montezuma County, and Dixon said residents may not be open to buying electric vehicles until the city of Cortez installs them. She offered her help to the council if it decides to apply for a charge ahead grant.
A universal dish served around the world, soup. It's good food for the soul, and reported by the Journal in Cortez photo credit Emily Rice. The Bridge Emergency Shelter's Soups of the World fundraiser on Saturday attempted to raise money for a new building while introducing guests to one of the world's most universal foods. Shelter staff, cooking students, and volunteers from around the county served up soup recipes from Korea, Thailand, Italy, and other countries in the Montezuma Cortez High School cafeteria to more than 100 paying guests. The event is typically the shelter's biggest fundraiser of the year, but this was the first time staff had organized it in 2 years. Proceeds from ticket sales and from a dessert auction that followed the meal went toward the new Bridge building, which is scheduled to start construction later this year. The new two-story shelter will be located on 735 North Park Street, estimated to cost about $2.3 million. The project is being funded by matching grants from the Colorado Department of Local Affairs and the Gates Family Foundation. Executive Director Lori Knutson said that the shelter raised the matching funds it needed for the grants before Saturday's event, so the money from Soups of the World will instead go to cover furniture and other accessories for the new building, as well as any construction overages. Visitors at the fundraiser were greeted at the door with the latest sketches of the new shelter provided by RMBA architects. Volunteers in a buffet line served 7 different kinds of soup along with bread and other side dishes. Knutson said the event, which the shelter has hosted since 2007, is meant to raise awareness of those in need. It's an acknowledgement that people without a lot of means around the world have always eaten soup and bread, she said. Some of the chefs behind the soup work at the shelter, and others were simply Montezuma County residents with a recipe to share. The MCHS cooking class provided a Cuban black bean soup. Several local people also donated cakes, pies, and other desserts that were auctioned off later in the evening. Zoe Coleman was one of the 4 AmeriCorps volunteers who helped serve the food. She said it was her first time volunteering with the Bridge, although she regularly helps out at the Mount Lookout Grange Food Pantry in Mancos. It's a nice way to meet people and help the community, she said. I go to a lot of these events, and there are a lot of them in the county, which is great. Several regular guests at the Bridge also volunteered at the event, helping to serve drinks and clear tables. Sean Morgan, who said he had been sleeping at the shelter about 2 weeks, said he was impressed with the plans for the new building, although he hopes he won't need to stay there anymore by the time it's built. I was kind of skeptical about going there, but they make you comfortable, he said of the Bridge. They don't make it seem like they're talking down on you. It seems like they actually care. Knutson said an anonymous donor had offered to match all ticket and auction sales at the event up to $5,000. In past years, $5,000 has been the average amount raised at the dinner. Bridge staff hope to break ground on their new building sometime this summer.
From the Durango Herald, frustrated with antiquated and deteriorating internet service, Jim Willer and his neighbors in the rural Deer Valley Estates subdivision east of Bayfield began searching for better options. It took more than 3 years since they first began making inquiries, but with the help of AlignTech, a small local internet provider with 6 full-time employees and a $593,000 grant from the Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies, the Deer Valley residents discovered a path leading to speedier internet service. Orion Lukasik, CEO of AlignTech, said the 60-plus homes in the subdivision are now lucky if they can get between 1 and 2 megabytes per second. The biggest problem is it's not consistent from moment to moment, Lukasik said. The residents looked for other providers, but Willer said CenturyLink was not interested in serving the rural area and wireless service wouldn't work. Neighbors used a satellite provider, but satellite service can be interrupted by weather and didn't deliver on promised speeds, Willer said. The subdivision, heavily wooded and rugged topography, could not be adequately served with wireless links, and Willer said the fiber optic network the grant will fund is the appropriate infrastructure needed to meet the subdivision's internet needs. The grant funding from DORA will allow replacement of the existing system with a hybrid link, a neighborhood fiber optic line to each of the homes that leads to a microwave feed to connect the neighborhood to the outside internet world. The project is expected to provide internet speeds of 50 megabits per second, which when it is built in late 2018 or early 2019. Willer said several Deer Valley neighbors worked with AlignTech on the grant application process. Down the road, when more rural fiber optic lines are available to fill in the middle mile link in the internet loop, Serving the neighborhood, the Deer Valley homes will be able to enjoy internet speeds even faster than 50 megabits per second.
Today's High Canyon Country happening. Starting March 10th, the Spring Break Challenge is hosted by Canyon Country Discovery Center in Monticello, Utah, and runs through March 31st. Enjoy your break by visiting San Juan County sites and winning prizes. There are many sites on the game card. Visit the sites and get the stamps you need to qualify to win the prizes. Get your game card and design your plan of action. This event runs again March 10th through the 31st. Come out and enjoy it. March 10th is the Leading Edge course held in Dove Creek, hosted by the SBDC, DCDC, Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce, and others involved in bringing this experience to Dolores County. Master essential skills for starting, managing, growing, or exiting your business wisely. Open to businesses of all types, including agriculture, forest products, manufacturing, home-based, and nonprofits. All are welcomed. It's excellent for beginning and experienced business owners and managers. The classes will meet on March 10th, March 24th, April 7th, and April 14th. Sign up online at clients.coloradosbdc.org. Coming on March 10th, it's the Sci-Fi Soiree, Dolores Chamber Annual Spring Banquet, hosted by the Dolores Chamber of Commerce at the Community Center. Costumes are encouraged but not required. The annual Dolores Spring Banquet to fund scholarships for local students. At 5:30, it's the annual membership meeting and cocktails. 6 o'clock is the Cosmic Cocktails and Silent Auction Review and Networking. 7 p.m. is the dinner, and 8 p.m. is the Business and Citizen of the Year Award. For more information, visit DoloresChamber.com. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on the air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.